just a bit to allow him to put it where he wants to put it. And what if we told him that we would do that? If he would help pay for the removal of the white pine tree. Well, it's just something to think about. I mean, certainly, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Okay. And for the oak tree, I will tell you what we have decided or what has happened with the oak tree. say you have at